Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. Hope the week's gone well. We got some rain last night, which was pleasant, but it keeps getting very hot by midday, which is when I do this podcast. Political reflection. Since Sunday alone, the US has sailed a warship through the Taiwan Strait, released a report criticizing travel restrictions in Tibet, and hosted Uyghur exiles at the State Department. You could call it Trump's gunboat diplomacy. Even as the US and China near a deal on trade, the Trump administration is becoming increasingly assertive in challenging Beijing on its geopolitical red lines. Steve Mnuchin and Robert Lighthizer are expected in Beijing for trade talks, but meanwhile they've been sailing ships through the Taiwan Strait and criticizing China and Tibet and the incarceration situation in the Uyghur Xinjiang area. Wang Dong, Secretary General of the Pan-Goal Institution, said the American moves evoked the gunboat diplomacy of the 19th century, when the US and other Western powers used their naval might to force open Asian markets. He says even if their intention is to use this as a way to send some sort of signal to China, I think it is a very dumb one. He said China is not Iraq or Venezuela. The United States will not always get its way with gunboat diplomacy. Then Taiwan responding to some of the comments, and the Global Times saying the US seems to be more willing to play the Taiwan card in a rather radical way. It looked as if that Trump was ready to do a deal. You saw the article yesterday in the FT, but it's interesting, this dissonance between what he's saying and what the military establishment is doing, and we need to keep an eye on that. And I take you back to the 15th of October 2018, when there was this incident with the USS Decatur, where a Chinese warship came within 45 yards of the Decatur, and I called it a precursor. And I think it still is. Interesting point that Simple Trends is making. He's saying the US dollar, Chinese yuan, is implying that the trade wars are not going so well. Russia must get out of Venezuela, said President Trump at the White House. And this follows the deployment of S-300s there and I think 99 military personnel. Maduro, I still believe, is going down, just like Muammar and Saddam went down. And I think, given that this is in the backyard, the Chavez Revolution, a rebellion in the superpower's backyard, the machine was eventually going to bring it to heel by hook or by crook. And the question is, how are they going to deal with Russia? Russia must want some guarantees. It's heavily lent into, and not as heavily lent as China. And of course, we go to Hunter S. Thompson and his famous phrase about the edge. August 2018, I was saying Trump is relishing his financial warfare strategies. At that time, Maduro was being attacked by remote-controlled drone. Iran, currency warfare, Turkey, as we've already discussed. Asked how he would make Russian forces leave, President Trump said, "We'll see. All options are open." Hervé says it's a fait accompli by Vladimir Putin, and that therefore there is no way back. But I don't incline to that. I think the Americans will see this as a serious diss, geopolitically speaking, of course. I was the most innocent human being, President Trump tells Sean Hannity. That took me to Hamlet. The lady doth protest too much. And it's quite interesting, since the report that came out and was preceded by the Attorney General, you've seen all those folks who were heavily connected in a non-linear manner to Trump come out, and just like in Macbeth, both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, 'tis deeply sworn, sweet, leave me here a while. Sleep, rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain. Hamlet, Madam, how like you this play? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. International markets, this is the front page of The Guardian. UK Parliament finally has its say. No, 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 no. I think there were 9 votes, or were there 11? I think each no is for one of those. And I was writing about Brexit over the weekend in a wider article, and I said over the last few months we've watched parliamentary democracy reassert itself as 10 Downing Street and the power of the Prime Ministership has dimmed. And essentially it's because she got bogged down in fighting her own internal party war from 10 Downing Street, and that's why the power has ebbed. Brexit stalemate deepens as UK fails to agree on a way forward. As I said over the weekend, the whole Brexit scenario has become a needle which appears simply impossible to thread.